Living in Vietnam has taught me good principles of frugality. And ultimately, it's shown me how money can't buy happiness. I've met poor people who have the biggest and warmest smiles on their faces, and I've seen rich people who look miserable. Xin chào các bạn, mình là Brooklyn Day. Hi everyone, my name's Brooklyn. It's been a hot minute since I've just sat down and talked with you discussing a topic. When I started this channel, I was living in Vietnam and all my efforts went towards this channel and towards teaching English. Right now, I'm working as a nurse full-time in the States, and it has taken a lot of my time and energy. It's still important for me to stay active and engaged with you guys on this channel, so we've done a few vlog videos, and my husband Vũ has stepped in to help me recording a video on his own. I hope that his video on 4 things you should do to become more fluent in English was helpful and inspiring to you. If you haven't seen it, there's a link here on the screen and in the description down below. Of course, I love him so much and am so inspired by him, and I hope that you guys were inspired as well when you got to meet him. Today, though, is going to be another slow English podcast on a specific topic that I think you'd love, so stay with me. Before we start the video, I want to introduce a speaking course that my husband Vũ and I have created just for you. This course focuses on pronunciation, intonation, fluency, and expanding vocabulary. We're so confident in it that we're offering the first week completely free, so you can experience it firsthand and see how our approach helps you express yourself clearly and naturally in English. Check out the link in the description for more details. Thank you. So today I want to talk about being frugal. Say it with me. Frugal, with an emphasis on the first syllable. Frugal. Britannica Dictionary defines frugal as being careful about spending money or using things when you don't need to, just using money or supplies in a very careful way. I could use it in a sentence by saying, my mom is frugal, or she's a frugal shopper. But frugally is an adverb, and you could say she lives frugally. Frugality is the noun form of the word. Notice the emphasis is on the second syllable. Frugality. Frugality. In a sentence, you would say, her frugality has helped her save money. The concept of frugality has been taught to me my entire life. My family has never been rich. I've always had what I needed and often a lot of things that I wanted because my parents were frugal with their money. We drove older vehicles. We didn't get the newest version of something when our old one still worked just fine. We went thrift shopping or got hand-me-down clothes from friends or family. And my mom was a master meal planner, keeping us fed and healthy, but with cheaper food. Eating out in the States is expensive, so we rarely ate out. Well, unless our grandparents were offering to take us out. Being frugal doesn't necessarily mean being stingy or withholding, meaning holding something back. It just means that my family had to plan for those bigger things. So they set aside a budget for Christmases and birthdays and vacations. They gave to those in need according to their means and however they felt God was leading them to give. Being frugal means that you plan and you dictate where your money is going to go instead of all the flashy things in the world pulling for your attention and taking your money. Of course, as an adult, both when I was single and now that I'm married, I've had to learn and apply my own money values. Well, actually, I had to learn those things in my high school jobs as well. As a teenager, I worked a few small jobs and was thrilled to have a little spending money. But I also tried to save 30 to 40% of my earnings for a down payment on my car. In college, I didn't have time to make much money because I had a busy school schedule. So I had to plan that money very wisely and say no to things, some fun things that were outside of my budget that my friends asked me to do. I was barely 20 when I started making real adult money on my full-time income. At that time, I barely had any living expenses, so I probably spent more money than I should have. It just felt so exciting to have my own, so much money on my hands. Thankfully, I didn't do too much damage, but I wish I would have used that money to start my investment and retirement accounts because that would have served me so well, both now and later on down the road. But we can only learn from our mistakes. I started paying closer attention to my money when I had rent and bills to pay. I have an app on my phone that helps me track every single dollar that comes into and out of my bank account. To some, that may seem tedious or like a lot of unnecessary work, but what I've found is that this actually gives me a peace of mind. I know where everything is going. So much in the world of money can be unexpected, and this is one thing that I can control. Throughout our dating relationship, Vu and I talked about money. I'd heard before that money is one of the main reasons that causes couples to split. So it was important to us to understand how each of us spends money and what our financial plans are for the future. Now, of course, everybody is a little different and you can't figure out everything before you get married, but we found that we aligned pretty well in our values and our goals. Now, if you are in a relationship and planning to get married, I encourage you to talk openly with each other about your finances. When we first got married and merged our accounts, Vu did a really good job of financial planning for us, looking into investment and retirement accounts and maximizing our earnings there. When it comes to everyday spending, it has been kind of difficult for me to adjust to sharing finances with another person. I was so used to just wanting something and buying it, but now out of consideration for our relationship, I try to ask his advice or his thoughts before I buy something big, and he does the same for me. Overall, this has been really good for me though, because it teaches me to think a little bit more before I spend. Vu's family also lives frugally. They've worked hard all of their lives to save up their money. And now they live a comfortable life, but still live below their means. If they drop money on something more expensive, they've spent time making sure it's a quality purchase and of good value. I think this concept of frugality is key for everyone, whether you're rolling in dough, meaning you have so much money you don't know what to do with it, or whether you are struggling to make ends meet, meaning you don't have enough money for your bills. We should all be conscious of where our money is going. Living in Vietnam has taught me good principles of frugality, and ultimately it's shown me how money can't buy happiness. I've met poor people who have the biggest and warmest smiles on their faces, and I've seen rich people who look miserable. Of course, money is a very useful commodity, but happiness and joy are rooted in something much deeper. That's all I have for today. If you've liked this, leave me a comment down below. It would really help me grow this channel. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.